Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady checking in with a backyard garden tour. It is of course fall open garden day. First day of fall, it feels like it. It's cold. We have a tropical system moving in. It's gonna be a washout. Gonna have 30-mile-an-hour winds. I guess it's too much to ask to have a nice day for the open garden. We did have a beautiful day in the spring, so I should be expecting this. I'm now trying to figure out whether it's gonna even be reasonable to have the seed sale under the tent, because honestly, with strong winds, I don't want the seed packets to get wet, so we might end up moving that inside the house, which was not something I had anticipated. But I do look forward to welcoming you. Remember, it's from noon to 4. It's rain or shine, free, no registration. Wear your raincoats, wear some rubber boots, because I think we're gonna get a lot of rain, and this property, when we did get rain, is very, very, very soggy. But today it is not raining yet, and I wanna show you how beautiful all of the back gardens are looking as we officially enter into a new season. So let me turn this camera around. I can honestly say I will never ever regret randomly scattering zinnias into every border. They are so cheerful. I'm making flower arrangements with them. They just are wonderful in every way. And I love the Treasure Island sweet potato ground cover mixed with peanuts. I like this color and texture contrast between the peanut and the sweet potato. Two classic crops of Central North Carolina. Of course, harvesting lots of okra. Although I will say I went ahead and removed most of the okra that was planted in the feed tank bed because they were so infested with nematodes. And today I am doing some last minute garden prep for the fall open garden, which is Saturday, September 23rd from noon to 4 p.m. And I noticed that these okras were really looking pretty ratty, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and tear them out. But I really wanted to show you why they look so bad. And I have got like the most textbook case of a root knot nematode root infestation that you could possibly have. And I know I shouldn't be excited about it because it's really awful, but it's also just so cool to be able to show you. Look at that huge root system, and every root has root knot nematodes in it. And that's what's causing the leaves to turn brown and fall off, and the slow in the fruit production. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, you could leave them and they would just keep getting uglier, or you can rip them out and decide to cut your losses. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip the rest out of this bed and go ahead and record it so that you can see what they look like as it comes out of the ground. All right, let's see what this one looks like. Ugh. Now these aren't really all that badly infected yet. You could see like the bottom of the root has the nematodes, but there's still a lot of root system on this that wasn't impacted, although that one's pretty funky. I mean, it's a pretty remarkable thing. I mean, it's nothing that you want, trust me. And it's definitely something that occurs primarily in the southeast, especially in sandy soil, especially on properties that used to be tobacco farms, which basically defines all of South Wake County, all of Harnett County, most of Johnston County, which is where huge populations of northern transplants have relocated to. And they might not actually know that their ground has root knot nematodes, and it's not them causing the plants to decline as a person. It's actually these microorganisms that are lurking in the ground from past land use. Well, with those removed, I think the bed looks significantly cleaner. Although I did vacuum it yesterday, and because we have so much wind, there's lots of leaves blowing in, it's not gonna be a pristine pool for the open garden. So I think there's something wrong with this oak. It's looked bad all season. I'm hoping maybe it'll flush out and look better next year. If not, I think we're gonna have to think about removing it, which is sad. It was a wedding present from our good friend Peter, who lives in the Netherlands. Now over here, Again, zinnias for the win. This is one of the Queenie Lime series. I think this was my seed, so it would have been collected from Queenie Lime Blush, I believe. You can see there's a lot of variation in the flower color, but it is really so nice. I just love it. Love these nice pastel colors. That Serrata Theca that I showed you last week is looking great. Love those flowers so much. And of course, zinnias are often the star of the show at this time of year, and these are no exception. They look beautiful. Well, a really exciting thing to see today is that the first flowers of Brugmansia Charles Grimaldi have opened, and these are really fragrant at night. The angel trumpet, so beautiful. This has been hardy in the ground. You can see lots of flowers forming. This is a plant that is sensitive to short days, photoperiodic, so that's what stimulates the blooms. And you know, a lot less pollinator activity at this time of the year. Most of the butterflies are kind of laying low at this stage, but the plants themselves all look beautiful. I can't believe how many flowers there still are on this Phlox paniculata Bright Eyes, which I do have available in the native plant sale. And of course, the Mangave flower spike update. This one just keeps getting taller. It's taller than me now, and you can see the flowers are forming, but none have opened yet. As we come across into the fire pit bed, of course the succulents look incredible. They're so beautiful, and really everything in here is doing well. You can see that Mangave has gotten really tall, but again, the flowers haven't opened yet, so that'll be interesting to see. I did decide to tear out the tomatoes that were planted in these bags. They were just really waning, and I need to go ahead and move these bags today, get this area cleaned up a bit. Even though I know on a rainy day people will still walk around, but it's hard to pay attention to all the little details when you're walking in the rain. But overall, I think the fire pit bed has been a huge success all summer. And well, it's still looking beautiful. All these containers, you just can't beat the combination of sweet potatoes and coleus. Well, Reginald really appreciates all of the fresh mulch that I've been putting out. And I have some more to put out. We'll see if I get to it today. I've got to deal with the neighborhood entryway. It's a disaster. Everything here is growing well. I think the cucumbers don't look beautiful. They're kind of ugly, but they are still producing. I didn't go ahead and tear them out just because I am still getting fruit, albeit fruit often have worms in them. I just soak them in water and all the worms come out. These okra are really doing great. Of course, I was gone for a few days, and well, the okra gets offended by that, and I had to cut a ton of fruit off that are too big to eat. Oh my goodness, look at this bee completely covered in pollen. That is too cute. I believe this is Pavonia. I need to confirm that. This is one that really grows from seed quite easily. You can see these enormous seed pods. And I usually will have some of that seed available at the spring open garden, which is scheduled for Saturday, May 11th, 2024. I did want to show you how the Brassicas are doing. I need to spray more BT, but they are doing well. Let me come over here where I can get under the tent. We have really cool weather, so the tent is no longer really to shield from heat, but I think it is helping with the cabbage worm butterflies coming in and laying eggs. So I'm pretty pleased. They've had, you know, 2 doses of BT so far, and they look good. Reginald's like, he's wanting to show off for the camera, everybody. There's Reginald. He's become such a big boy. And he may or may not be on hand to greet people tomorrow in the tropical storm that is arriving in time for the fall open garden. Is established. I think by next spring it should be extraordinary, especially with all the clethra, all of the native azaleas. You know, definitely the carex have really taken a hold and they're loving it. This whole border, again, once it's established, and this fall I'm going to come in and do a good mulching. It'll look so neat and tidy and very purposeful. We have a lot more work to do to clear along the fence and, well, just really make it look purposeful. I'm excited about developing this property, and I'm excited to possibly expand it more even into the wetter areas. And over here where it got cleared in July, you can see I've now got my soil cube staged over here. Ava Grace is guarding it. I thought this would be just a good place to have my big yellow bags as I go through and start doing fall plantings. This is a convenient location. They're not sitting in the grass like I had them before. So very excited to have these. 2 are veggie mix and 1 is level mix. The level mix I like to use for the native plantings. But what's really exciting over here is to show you the germination of the barley that we did last Saturday. So it's 6 days, and you can see how well everything is germinated. And it'll be really interesting to watch this develop and see how it does and what stage it's at when we do get cold. I've never sown a mass border of grains this early, but I will say one thing for the weather: the entire forecast is really much cooler, like 20 degrees cooler than what we've been having. So maybe these grains will do really well. It'll be a really fun experiment to be able to follow. And into the pumpkin patch area. This one is doing well. I don't have any fruit, but it'd be great if they would. And you know, lots and lots of flowers. I have a feeling that as more foliage starts to die back, I'll start seeing more fruit than I realized. Right now it doesn't look like there's much, which is disappointing, but I will say I've been entertained watching these vines grow. You know, definitely the insects did a number on everything, but like here's a cute little a little squash. Oh, but bugs have gotten into it. That's too bad. You should go ahead and harvest it. Soak it in water. I'm the only one who likes to eat bug infested plants. I've been really curious about this plant, and I think it's a zinnia. It just doesn't put out any petals. It's been doing this like the whole summer, and I only have 1 plant. It's so weird. I do plan to collect seed just because I think it's a fun novelty. I can't figure out if it's something I bought, like a pack of seeds, I only got 1 plant to grow, or if it's a weird mutation that's happening in my garden. I need to do some research on that. But as I'm standing here, look at that. That's a nice butternut squash that I don't think has been infested by caterpillars. Hopefully not. So that'll be a delicious meal. And of course these buckskin are ready to be harvested, actually. The vine is pretty well died back, and I've got 3 really nice fruit. And they're quite large, so those will be adequate for a lot of meals. Well, I definitely wish that there was smell-o-vision, because the tea olive Osmanthus fragrans variety Aurantiacus is just starting to bloom, and the smell of sweet apricots is filling the air. It's truly magnificent. Flowers aren't fully open yet, so there's not a lot to show, but I keep getting whiffs of it, and it is truly the fragrance of fall. It's definitely one of those signs that the seasons are changing. And just another little plant preview. I'm actually thinking, since we might put the seeds inside the house, we'll probably put the plants under the tent. That way they won't be so wet that you wouldn't want to put them in your car. This is exactly why I didn't order more. Attendance is always really low when it's bad weather. And, well, we have bad weather. And I almost forgot the most important thing to show you. The first camellia of the season is in bloom. This is Camellia sasanqua contorta. As you see, it's got nice single pink flowers. And of course it's contorta because it's got these corkscrew branches. This has been in the ground, I think probably 12 years. It's got some nice size, and behind it is Camellia sinensis, the tea camellia, and that has a bunch of flower buds about to open. Of course, David's here in the woods, living his dream.
It's like I'm camping, but I'm at home.
It's like he's camping, but he's at home on a very windy day. But certainly a day that seems safe to burn because it's gonna start raining soon. And finally here to the big property border that I renovated last week. I did not sow any buckwheat, for the record, okay? It is a solid mass of buckwheat, which I actually think will look really pretty between now and frost. I don't see any of the seeds that I did sow germinating yet. Oh, I take that back. These are probably calendula. I know I did calendula all along the border. So in the coming weeks, I think there'll be a lot of really cool plants other than buckwheat to be able to show you. And I have had the deer coming in, eating okra especially, so I went ahead and put this cattle fence in to help deter them. As you can see, I missed these okras. I'm gonna go ahead and leave them so that I can collect seed off of them. A lot of the okra that was overgrown, I just went ahead and cut back. I can collect the seed off of it, but it's also this really pretty fall decoration. And as you can see, I've got a great big pile here that I'm just gonna have out for people to take home. They will dry and you can collect the seeds, and they're also just, like I said, they make really pretty kind of fall decorations. Well, I appreciate all of you tuning in, and thanks in advance to everyone who comes out and deals with the weather that we have. And I do look forward to sharing more updates with you next week. Happy gardening, everybody.